He's not the hallway anymore.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
He moved up. Hello, everybody. It's Holger Mueller here from Constellation, welcoming my partner in crime, friend, colleague, esteemed professional Martin Fischer, cycling fish, for Coffee Corner Radio, I believe. Welcome, Martin.
Yeah, of course, still for Coffee Corner Radio. Welcome, Holger. Thank you for all the honor
Look,
you gave
it's
me.
9 p.m. local time and it's daylight in Germany. I have daylight envy living on the West Coast in California, where it's never daylight in summer, even as we're getting the longest day till 9 p.m. Instead of like a fake HPE screens in the background, the conference I'm right now. But we, of course, don't want to talk about HPE. We want to talk about SAP, which had their Sapphire in Barcelona last week. And I wasn't there, but you were there.
I was there. And I suppose you were in Vegas the week before, or did you just watch it from far away?
I watched it from afar, from far away. I was in Orlando, in the Florida swamps, to the big thing this year again. Last year I was in Barcelona, and I was in Philadelphia at an Amazon event, so I couldn't make it anyway. But why make it to twice? Plus, my high takeaway is the second Sapphire, the week after week. There's not much news there. It's not worth going, apart from maybe minor tiny things. Or you're in Europe and you want to have a short flight, right? But hey, I don't want to prevent what your takeaways are. Nothing major on the product announcement side, right? So
yeah, well, no surprise in total. And I agree. I watched all the Orlando keynotes from the week before the Sapphire event in Barcelona, and to be honest, in the end it was kind of very same content. Most of them, at least. Scott Russell had some different customers on stage, and Thomas Sauer-Essig. At least this keynote was a bit more of a surprise, and but more or less the others were more of the same as in Orlando. And for me, actually, to at least conclude or summarize the keynote, business AI, rise, and keep the core clean.
that's wise. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Good at least to have the customers localized. Last year, they even had video displays of the customers played in, and customers were really upset and unhappy. This year, I heard from people who attended, well, they kind of expected it. It's kind of like you lower the bar, and then people are happy with the lower bar. So good for them. I was hoping for more things on the sustainability side. I was thinking SAP kept some private in that in Orlando. North America doesn't care so much of sustainability for Europe. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I got the confirmation that the pilot program for the Green Ledger is starting after the Sapphires, with something planned for the end of the year. But it's not really a ledger. It's more an analytical capability where people can put financial and Excel streams into something, a data warehouse or whatever it will be. So very different than what I thought, or maybe I misunderstood what it would be. But that's Green Ledger. What were your takeaways, Martin? What did you see?
Yeah, in regards to all the sustainability solutions, there was a central showcase at the show floor. That was quite interesting. But I think at least there was also a lot of demo stuff which is not really in the product yet. So it was about kind of the CO2 footprint, carbon footprint, and all the other stuff, with an example for the semiconductor industry, also about recycling.
Did you get an NFC chip with your NFC as well? They make it there? Yeah, so same thing in Orlando then, which I think is a smart idea because it works on your phone, brings up a browser. So it's something which I've been dreaming of since a long time, that you just don't go to a conference and you have a one-time shot, but you have theoretically, if SAP keeps up the content, a one-time place for your personalized content. Hey, I'm not a marketer. I only studied this, but so that's an interesting thing,
Yeah, was funny to watch. Yeah, but in general, as I said, main topic was business AI. I must admit, it looked more promising, way more promising than last year. I realized that they were a lot talking about future tense. So I'm not that sure when it will be available. Maybe you have better information about that. But I think last year, to be honest, I was rather underwhelmed because I thought, what they showed I can do with different browser window and just open ChatGPT there and doing the same. Now it made way more sense.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, what a difference a year can make, right? But a year in AI is like 5 years in other areas, right? So things are moving
That's
so
true.
fast, right? And SAP is has a challenge like other vendors who run multiple clouds, like make an example like Workday, that they have to create this abstraction layer, both put it in their platforms, and in SAP's case BTP, that allows you to go to the 3 preferred clouds and use different constructs there, or even more if you add throw in Meta with Llama and their models and so on. So creating abstraction means investment by the platform vendor, and that means delay at the beginning. And now SAP has to show that it was worth it. Will customers use mixed models with different clouds, move the data or not? Talk about the data in a moment as well, but that's just going to be interesting. But there was no other choice for SAP, as they were in 3 clouds already, so they had to support all the clouds. Nobody was move these things out. A very different situation, like to the comparison if somebody's wondering what is happening at Oracle, where everything is running in OCI, right? So there's no other clouds, right? So those vendors who have the same cloud are significantly faster, moving faster. Take Info, number 4 ERP vendor, it's only on AWS, right? So there's no multi-cloud portability anywhere. But the key thing for AI is the data, and SAP still needs big data style, lakehouse, whatever things which I hinted in the intro might be something coming later in the year. I strongly hope that, because otherwise AI is going to be really, really cumbersome to do. It's not dependent on SAP, but for anybody who doesn't have something like a lakehouse, Hadoop style, big data architecture behind it where I can put all my things in and then query it out, you're at a significant disadvantage. And I hope that's not going to be the case. And we'll see if there's an announcement in the second half.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
I realized at least that SAP is putting way harder on DataSphere, also with maybe that at least got some attention for at least the vendors who try to integrate with SAP data or analytics products, the so-called ODP interface, where SAP said that it's not allowed to use it anymore. Also, I heard some customers complaining about that, and SAP's answer to this is, you should use DataSphere to integrate with our analytics portfolio. So I think that's at least a push into that direction. To be honest, I think if you follow our state of SAP podcast series or episodes over the years, you might notice that I was wondering about and you as well, about the analytics strategy for years. And I think now we see that they try to catch up, hopefully.
And now we're moving up in the alphabet, right? We only have an analytics problem with no big data lakehouse, whatever strategy. We also have an AI problem, like from AN to AI. We're moving up the alphabetic priority, so that's going to be super key. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the in-memory part, which the now retired founder, Hasso Plattner, lots of merits, has been strongly pushing on the hands. It looked a few times in the history of my 11 years as an analyst that was abandoned. Twice we were talking about this. Now with Hasso in retirement, it might have been gone for good, because DataSphere, keep in mind, is an interfacing technology. It's not a destination. And for doing AI right, you must have this data foundation where all the data is, because AI is expensive. The CPUs are expensive. You can't wait for any integration layer, maybe DataSphere or something else, to just wait for getting the data there while you're paying for GPUs, CPUs to model something. Right? So it's all about networking, fast access, and getting the data to the GPUs, CPUs. Good. What else did you take away from Barcelona?
Yeah, in general, I think the WalkMe acquisition was quite a surprise. To be honest, I didn't know, never heard about that company before. But,
so you don't have digital adoption challenges, Martin.
Yeah, well, I'm working
just
for
use stuff.
I'm working for a company who states that they are very good in user experience, so we probably don't need it.
That's another way to solve digital adoption problems. Let's look up the company that Martin is working for, so you'll see another option.
Yeah. No, I never heard before, but and I also never heard the term. How do they define their
digital
category?
adoption platform, DAP? So the worst thing about the acquisition is that we helped WalkMe to shape that category. So sometimes vendors are in some space where they're not learning, they're not training, they're not education, they're not CRM or HCM, whatever. So then analysts helped to create a term. My colleague Alan Lepofsky was central to create DAP. And I'm surprised, I mean, it's conference in Singapore, in India, and there's other vendors using DAP, right? Because only category of other vendors are in there. At the core, for me, it shows that the board, Thomas Saueressig, and so on, are thinking it's really an adoption issue that SAP customers have. And he had an interesting tidbit in Orlando in the keynote saying that over 60% of custom functions and tables have only not been accessed in the last year, which is an interesting fact. But I don't know if he repeated that in Europe, which is even more custom than North America. I thought it was a global step. But I mean, that's the interesting aspect of it overall, to see if there's enough functionality that adoption is a problem, or is missing functionality the hindrance to the adoption. Because WalkMe cannot address the latter if there's missing functionality. And I keep seeing there's still substantial missing functionality, especially on the vertical side. How do you see the adoption to functionality?
Maybe we should shortly explain what WalkMe does or what does it offer.
Sure. If you're not familiar, yeah, good point.
For my understanding, it offers kind of guidance for users on the UI level. Is that correct? So you kind of can add additional information to guide your users through the system. That's at least what I learned about it during my short research on it.
Absolutely right. So it's helping companies be successful with their digital programs they solved, because people can't find what they want to do, because learning is not good, training is not good, it's not tailored to what they want to do, how they want to work. They might have some customizations in there. The out-of-the-box material might not be good enough. That's what all WalkMe is about. Right? Quickly switching hats on the WalkMe side, right? In the AI area, it could be that digital adoption is no longer an issue because voice is the UI, or the chat is the UI. And the classic UI, where do I find my typical HR scenario? I've changed my bank. Where do I change my bank account information for direct deposit? That's a navigational jungle experience and expedition in pretty much every software, because it's done like 2-3 times in the lifetime of the user, if ever. And that's something where that, of course, can help. But does someone want to build a digital adoption pathway for changing the bank account? Not sure if that's a good return of the money, given the sequence of that. But that's the background.
Yeah, well, I have somehow a bit of a different view on it. I think I agree with you that maybe conversations might become the new user interface. But well, in the end, especially in the SAP world, we are used to, in the end, I would call them expert UIs. That's why newbies always find all the SAP UIs very complicated, and they are very complicated. But if people know them, they are fast in doing their job. And maybe this can help to bridge the gap between the occasional users to guide them with AI, probably, but I still think that the experts are faster with a graphical user interface in the end.
You're absolutely right? So if the expert UI, if the complex UIs are going to be around, access to more exotic digital transformation functions will be standard in a digital economy. So it's not going to be less transactions which are more often used and people remember how to use them. It will be more different transactions which are more remote, less often used, less well remembered, or they might have changed. Even if you know it 100%, it might have changed for tomorrow. So I think that's the value of WalkMe. But we'll see how much that way, how to interact for people with their software is going to be the same, or it's going to be changed by AI. So putting the WalkMe cap on, good time, and potentially the highest valuation that you could get from WalkMe from someone like an SAP or somebody else, because AI might change the whole business model of digital adoption platforms.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But maybe we have a good segue to the next topic I have in mind. So
Please.
WalkMe will become integrated, I think, into the so-called transformation suite of the RISE offering. So that it will be there with Signavio, LeanIX, and Cloud ALM in the end. At least that was the press release what SAP.
Isn't it like SAP buying someone every year to add to RISE?
Yeah, it's looks like.
You're switching the offer. You get a little more, right? You get a little more every year. There's one,
yeah. But the Cloud ALM is not an acquisition, by the way.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah, and there were also some big news about the RISE and the clean core stuff. So yeah, SAP pushes hard on the RISE methodology, and this comes with also getting rid of whatever technical migrations, or kind of pushing the customers to do not only a technical migration, but to more or less whatever greenfield, or at least leverage the new capabilities, clean up their core. This comes with so-called quality gates within the RISE methodology. So that's actually project methodology, how you implement an S4, or in this case specifically a RISE S4 within a RISE setup in the end. And every RISE customer gets an enterprise architect at hand. I also heard that the service partners and the SIs need to get their workforce certified for the RISE methodology in order to work in the setup. And they will also do an assessment on the clean core. SAP introduced already, I think, beginning of the year, the so-called clean core dashboard within Cloud ALM, where you get whatever different credits for your software architecture. And if you are clean core compliant, then you get a higher rating in this. I think personally,
who gets the rating? The client, the partner, the consultant?
No, the customer gets a rating. And what I also heard is that this will be one of the preconditions to get the discounts SAP announced beginning of the year for the RISE movement.
Okay.
So I think in general, not a bad thing, rather good thing, also to increase the quality, especially for the service partners, because of course, if the SIs are pushing for hours, or Mondays, this usually ends up in rather over-customized systems with a lot of custom code, which is not in the interest of SAP, because they want to get the core clean in order to prepare for a future public cloud update whenever, or at least to run to have smoother operations also in the private cloud. I'm on the other hand a bit biased, to be honest, as I'm working for a build partner. So I just hope that this whole setup with the clean core credits and having an SAP enterprise architect at hand doesn't lead to too much push towards the own offering, and kind of closing the door for our partners. So I hope this enterprise architect will not become a gatekeeper for SAP.
Good point. I mean, at the end of the day, it should be on the merit of the solution who the enterprise architect brings in, which, by the way, summing up what you said, it is a good approach. I mean, the fastest growing software company, we almost have forgotten about it, before the cloud, unbelievable how Siebel did this, right, was having this technical account manager who would chart the course, find the right people inside of the Siebel organization, make sure the partner wasn't doing too crazy stuff, making sure that things were built in the correct way. So that's the right approach. The question back then at Siebel was, and this question for SAP was, are there enough qualified people? Because you can't not only be a product expert to a certain depth and so on across the portfolio, you must be connected well to people, and connections take time to build relationships, and you must be good at understanding the business of the customer as well. Because if you're in this role and you make yourself ridiculous by burning time in product development by something which is not really being used, you quickly lose your reputation as that, and you're not going to be helpful for your customer partner helping them with that. I think certification is very successful. SAP is a showcase for that, how certification standardized the SAP ecosystem back in the 90s. Customers could really rely on what a partner consultant would be able to do and what not, what they would have to learn. Very powerful example for that. To your key point of build being necessary and how much is the clean core, it's again another indicator that Christian Klein, Thomas Sauer-Essig, Mohamed Alam think that there's enough things in the core to be there, which is not an easy thing to do. Again, let's look at the parallels at the main competitor. I was going to say help competitor. Oracle went to Europe too much, so speaking German in here. it took till 2016 or 17 till Steve Miranda, right, the counterpart of Muhammad Alam now, at Oracle said, no JD Edwards customer, Oracle e-business suite customer, PeopleSoft customer is going to be someone where I'm going to be worried about seeing them because we don't have this missing functionality, existing functionality. And now in SAP's case, I think there's still a significant gap. As somebody even mentioned, the verticals. So I think the solution to that will be that there's improved ways where you have to build things, being also a solution for vendors like where you work, Martin, by saying if you build something for that area, that's white field, we have nothing, it will not be counted against your clean core. We have to make sure that technically these extensions are being built in the right way, leveraging APIs, are portable, are cloud ready, whatever it's going to be. There's going to be additional qualities which will be important for customers. I think that will be the fudge factor. The big question, the big gamble is, right, and looking at ASOC and DSOC and whatever, to say, like, where are we? Did Thomas, by the way, repeat the statement, the 60% of Z transactions not being used in the last 12 months in Barcelona, yet in his keynote in Orlando?
I think he said it again, but I to some extent can confirm the numbers from my time in consulting when we did that whatever coverage analyzer stuff.
Right.
So there was a lot of abandoned code and never used extensions.
There always is, right? But the question is, like, especially what the flip side, what is the most used custom code and how relevant is that? And for SAP not to have a methodology dashboard and saying, we looked at our European customers, our worldwide customers, our vertical customers, they are really building this and that is really necessary and we're going to build this in the core, or we're going to have a partner to give it to. That's going to be the key decision also for 2027 looming, right? There was a colleague of mine, Rakshna, something HR colleague actually, who asked about 2027 in the Q&A with Christian Klein, Julia White, and all the executives. And Christian, for the first time, validated the press who speaks to them much more from Europe, for the first time said he rather would like customers to do it right than care for 2027. That's a significant departure to before, because it was always like, do the technical upgrade and then worry about the other things later, which was a very different message in Orlando, which I think speaks about SAP realizing 2027 doesn't really work. They also said we can't leave any customers stranded. They also said it would be stupid for us to make it a hard goal because we opened up for an RFP, which of course they don't want to. So we'll see 2027 movement in one way or the other. What's your view on that, Martin?
Yeah, I saw your. I think you posted a short video on Twitter and read it and saw it. Yeah, interesting move. But I think on the other hand, I don't see that customers will get any more benefits than they get now if they don't react now. I think SAP will not offer more to the customers waiting even longer and not showing the will to move now, because that, I mean, in the end, I think they also need to look at their profits in the end. If they only push it with discounts, Wall Street will also not be happy about it, even if they have a big cloud growth in the end. And on the other hand, I mean, there are other customers who moved already. Went through the valley of tears, probably even more than nowadays, because all that transformation suite offerings were not there, and they would complain for a reason if the ones who waited the longest get the most benefits in the end. So I think if customers do not start to at least talk to SAP within this year, and I mean the discounts they announced beginning of the year are till as of now limited for this year. If customers not talking or starting the discussion this year, I'm not that sure if they will get better offers.
You're absolutely right. That's the key KPI, how many people are start looking into this. The interesting aspect is also IBM 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, showed some very interesting code conversion of COBOL, which is not too far away from ABAP, into Java, JavaScript, whatever it was. So I think there might be a solution for the really relevant custom code in terms of rewrite to bring it to a clean core without ABAP as an example, which definitely would make it more portable. But at the end of the day, just dawned on me, talk to you about this. Basically, SAP is giving discounts to customers for not having the functionality they needed or they wanted, right? To a certain point, right? They shouldn't be giving discounts on stuff which is no longer needed because they have it in the clean core, and the customer just has to update and change it. At some point, they customize it out of knowledge not missing there from SAP. But so that not. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like lacking the ingredient in Europe too much, Schmerzengeld to a certain point, the make up for your pain, because we don't have that missing functionality, and because you stay clean and your people are working maybe with suboptimal process, you get the software cheaper. But amazing, interesting numbers. I said I never seen, quickly comparing to Orlando, such unhappy North American customers who are sitting on highly customized ECCs and to really have a price sticker shock while for operating on something like 10 million base for maintenance and getting a 30 million price tag for RISE for 5 years, right? And they're not even done this, right? And if you make the math on the 10 million doing maintenance, let's make it 2 million. So for 15 years, you can operate on ECC. Yes, you have run your data center and so on, to what a non-negotiated license for RISE and same equivalent functionality with missing gaps is. That's a tough sell. But 2024 will show how easy of a sale that is. And it's interesting to see the Saueressig team. Thomas told me the correct name, customer adoption and success something. No, it wasn't success. I forgot already what it is. He told me I can use the sour. I can say the Saueressig team.
Yeah, so, I think customer adoption and services, something like
services,
that.
Yeah. Something. It used to be success under previous leadership. Now it's services, whatever. It doesn't matter. I forgot. I should have remembered it. I will remember it. But for now, it's a Saueressig team. So we'll see how much of a difference they can make. Yeah. Crunch time, definitely on going to S4.
That's gonna get very interesting. But I think you, with that whole new RISE setup, I think at least I felt that there is a close connection also between the S4 guys within SAP and the BTP guys. That looks a bit more like one offering than in the past, at least. That was my feeling to some extent.
Time helps software like with wine. If it has the right foundation, it only gets better. No. If it's bad, it's bad, right? If it's turning to vinegar, time is not helping you. But if you've done it right, it's getting better and better.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I think
I think that's
need to wrap up because
I need to run to my next thing here. Yeah. But hey, in der Kürze liegt die Würze. Google that, figure out what it means. If you watch this and you agree or disagree with Martin and me, please be social, please be vocal about this. Many thanks for watching. Martin was in Barcelona, knows firsthand what was happening there. And I appreciate you guys watching as always.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you, Holger, for making it fit into your busy conference schedule today.
We do what we can do. Thanks for making it late in Germany. It's kind of getting dark in the back. So, hey, the green of HP is brighter than the outside at 9:30 in Germany.
Yeah, so the sun is already
feeling a little better. Yeah,
behind the hills of Stuttgart. So it's a sunset time.
Thank you, Martin. Everybody, if you like this, please be vocal about it. Send some feedback. You have our social handles here. Thanks for watching. Be careful out there. Stay healthy. Enjoy your summer. Thank you. Bye-bye.